I've got my mum's Ford Fusion on the lift today. She's been away exploring New Zealand and Australia for 3 months. She comes back on Wednesday, so I'm going to get her car fully serviced and checked over and washed, so when she comes back it's ready to go for her. I picked it up yesterday. I did go out in it around Christmas time and it was fine, but I picked it up yesterday, the battery was dead flat, so yeah, that's on the charger. So we're just under it now. I'm going to do the fuel filter before we turn it on and get it running, so there's less fuel pressure in there, and then we'll warm it up, drop the oil and do the rest of it. So nothing exciting, but just what happens in the workshop. The fuel filter couldn't be simpler. It's just literally clipped in with the push fit clips, and there's a new one. Absolute doddle. There we go, nice and simple. Clip back in, job done. Now let's get it running and start it up to warm the oil. Right, next, now it's warmed up, is to undo the two 10 mils on there, undo the pipe. This pipe over here I pulled off, and then it's on two rubber bungs at the back. So you just lift, pull it quite sharp and it comes off, and then you have to pull off this little rubber hose off of the rocker cover. So that's out of the way. We can change the air filter, which is in there, and then obviously get to the spark plugs as well. So whilst it's warm, up in the air, 13 mil to get the sump bolt out, drain out the oil. And then using the oil filter chain, just put it on there and turn it. It is loose now, but I just don't want to do it too much until the actual oil is finished draining, because it's going to be all out of there. So I'll take that off and then we can put the new one on. There you go, that's now loose and draining in there as well. The factors gave us 5 litres, so it must be less than 5 litres, so I'll have a check online in a minute. But yeah, we just let that drain out and then we'll swap that over. And then on the airbox, you've got all these Torx heads, or you can use a socket on them. You've got to undo all them to separate the airbox from on top of the engine. And obviously you can change the air filter. So let's get the new one in. Don't forget to tighten your nuts afterwards. Right, Comma says it's 3 3/4 litres when you're doing an oil service. 4 1/4 when it's completely empty. So we'll go to 3 1/2. We'll check the level and just top it up from there. So while that's draining in, I'm going to do my plugs. Obviously only do one at a time, because if you unplug everything you'll go, where do they go? I know these leads are the right length, so you should be all right, but still best practice, do one at a time. There we go, all the old plugs out. New ones all in, leads all clipped back up. So we're just going to check the oil level now, top up as necessary, then stick the air box back on, and we should be good for a start up. And then we've got to do the pollen filter. Right, so while it's on the lift, I'm just going to do a quick walk around, make sure everything's all right. One thing I've noticed that's rattling is the heat shield up there, look. So I'm going to take that off and put a repair washer on there to hold that on. And we'll just go around and do visual check on wheel bearing wobbles, etc. before we get it off the lift. There we go, repair washer on it. So now it's nice and solid, so that's that job done. I've already done it there before, so I think this heat shield won't last much longer, but while we can save it, we will. So let's have another wander around. Right, so the pollen filter is behind this access panel, which is clipped and screwed to the side of the tunnel. And then as you can see, there's that panel there. You've got to undo the screws for that, and the pollen filter will come out, but you've got to do it carefully and just check the orientation of it, because there is arrows on the filter, which I'll show you in a minute. There we go, the panel is out with 4 T20s. Let's pull out the filter. Ooh. Not very pleasant, this one. And there you go, airflow is towards the dashboard. So that's the orientation we need to put the new one back into. Right, so airflow towards the dashboard, or front of the car, back of the car, should I say. So you can see it's it's a nice clean one. So I'm just going to squeeze that in there. I'm going to do it off camera, save me trying to do it two-handed.